So today I'm going to walk you through how to put your grow bag, this is your pink oysters. This would be any of your gourmets, your lion's mane, pink oyster. This is how you're going to put them into fruiting conditions. So right now the bag is completely sealed off. You can see it's 100% colonized. I've even got some pink oysters actually growing out of the top of this where they're trying to get some more fresh air. So they're definitely ready to go. I'm going to show you if you're doing this without a Martha tent, so this would be considered a low-tech way. I'll show you guys how I do this without a Martha tent. So we'll call this the coffee box tech, since I'm just using a Kirkland coffee box that had like 120 K-cups in it. So that's whatever the size of this is. It looks like it's like maybe 8 inches by like 8 inches. And just deep enough for this bag to go into. It's a little bit big, you know. I'll link the appropriate size box, but this is just for stuff you have around the house that you can use to make this work. So like I said, you're gonna need a box that's about this size, or if you're doing a couple of grow bags, then something a little bigger is fine. I take the flaps and I cut both flaps off of the sides so I can fold this in this way, and then we're gonna make a little tent, a little dome, to help keep the moisture in, and I'll show you guys how I do that. So the really low-tech way of doing this is go to the grocery store and get yourself some bags from the produce aisle, open them up, and you can see this bag by itself isn't quite big enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 bags and I'm going to glue them together. You could, tape them together. The other thing you could do to shortcut this is to buy like maybe a turkey bag, like one of those oven roast turkey bags that you buy for like Thanksgiving they're poly. They're a little bit of overkill. They cost, I think you can get like a 10-pack for like $10, so they're 99 cents each. If you go to the grocery store, they're like $5 or $6 for one of them. So this is fine. This will do the trick. All you're trying to do is keep moisture, and you're trying to build, when we cut this bag open and we introduce fresh air, we're trying to keep our moisture at about 100% humidity. So we're going to spray down the insides of the boxes. The box really well, and then we're going to put this tent over top of it to try to help keep all the moisture in. So back to this bag. This kind of ends up looking like my Aunt Gertie's bra, but it's fine. It's like a little dome. This slit in the middle right here, that's fine. You're going to want plenty of fresh air exchange. We're actually going to cut extra holes in the bag so we get plenty of fresh air coming into here, because they want plenty of fresh air so they can start to do their pinning process. Okay, so now that I've got my tent kind of done on my boxes right there, I'm just going to take the top of this, I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to fold this over like this. And where I want my pink oysters to grow is I want them to grow out of right here. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to cut holes, slices across right here. I'll do a couple X's, one on this side and one on this side, and then I'll put inside the box here. So get yourself a knife, and then you want to spray it with alcohol and just stab the knife straight into the substrate. It's okay if you go into the substrate a little bit. Try not to cut too deep. Just like that. And you want to pin this bag down so the bag doesn't stay open. Pin this bag down inside of the box with the cuts, the slits facing up. Then the next thing you need to do is you need to boil some water, or get yourself some distilled water, something that's clean, because you're going to use that to spray this box in this bag. You want to make sure you're putting clean water into the, that you're spraying onto the substrate, so you're not putting a bunch of contaminated water in there. Okay, then you're going to spray the bag, give it like 5 good sprays right onto the substrate, right where you cut those holes. You want it nice and moist. Now you're going to spray this box too. You want this box to get nice and wet so it holds moisture in here. And then you're going to come back and you're going to spray this bag. If you're doing it with in this method, you're going to come back and spray this bag like 5 times a day. Give it like 5 squirts 5 times a day on these openings, and then keep the tent in place until you start seeing pins that are about a 1/2 inch. Once the pins are about a 1/2 inch, don't spray directly onto the pink oysters or onto your fruit at that point. You want to still spray around the bag, but keep doing it 5 times a day. Then once your pins get to be about 1 inch long, then you can stop spraying, or you can take the bag off and continue to spray around. Take the bag off and you want to introduce as much fresh air as you can at that point. If you start noticing that your pink oysters are getting like long and they're not kind of fat and turning into that trumpet shape, that means that they need more fresh air. But you need to try to give them more fresh air while maintaining that humidity. You're looking for like 75 to like 95% humidity. So try to keep this box wet and continue spraying, 5 times a day. So 2 to 5 days you should expect to see pins. And then once you're at that 1/2 inch, stop spraying directly on. Once they reach 1 inch, then pull the tent off. So this is kind of what your box should look like when it's all done. And you want to keep this out of direct sunlight and out of direct airflow, so you're not pushing contamination directly in. Any countertop or tabletop that's just not directly in the sun and doesn't have direct airflow going right over top of it is perfect. And remember, in these holes, in these bags, we want lots of holes for fresh air. We don't want to trap with just moisture in here. We want fresh air going in and out of there too. That'll help induce the pinning.